Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel and the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. Obviously, this is Pro Wrestling Logic. This is the SmackDown review for May 27th, 2022. They recap the Usos defeating RK-Bro last week to unify the Tag Team Championships. I guess it's a fine opening segment. The Usos are out talking. Fans pop for Nakamura and Riddle. Samantha Irwin introduces the undisputed tag team champion Usos starting SmackDown. Michael notes that Randy Orton's injury because of the Bloodline attack last week. Jay demands that the fans join them in thanking Roman Reigns for all that he has done. He starts to cut a total babyface promo. He mentions that they made their WWE debut 12 years ago. The fans cheered and applauds that, and then they added fans cheered them and booed them at times. Fans erupt in boos after that. Then we go to Jay starts addressing the fans and thanks them for their support over the years. They couldn't have done it without the fans. The fans cheered again. Jay finally spoke. Goes back to being in a more heelish way. Jimmy adds that they now thank nobody. They started to laugh. The fans mocked them, and Jimmy and Jay only have each other to thank. They erupt into boos. Usos mark RK-Bro and bragged about injuring Orton. Nakamura's music interrupts. Nakamura challenges the Usos to face him and his brother. He added his brother wanted to face the Usos alone. Usos laughed at Nakamura. They assumed he's talking about Rick Boogs. Instead, Nakamura introduces Riddle to a decent reaction. Riddle and Nakamura get in the ring. Usos cut them off. They beat down Riddle and throw him out of the ring. Jimmy and Jay isolates Nakamura, but Riddle makes the save. Floating Bro, Riddle and Nakamura cleared the ring and the Usos take off. They recap SmackDown Women's Ronda Rousey defeating Raquel Rodriguez 2 weeks ago. In the locker room, Shotzi, Xia Li, Natalya, Shayna Baszler, and Aaliyah watched Rodriguez walk to the ring. Shotzi addressed each one of them. Shotzi thinks that each deserve a title shot more than Rodriguez. Lee left without answering. Aaliyah told Shotzi and walked out. And Baszler and Natalya appeared to agree with Shotzi. Back from the break, Kayla Braxton approaches Riddle and Shinsuke Nakamura. They're both trying to come up with a team name. Riddle mentioned it's Randy Orton's idea for them to team with Nakamura. In the locker room, Baszler, Natalya, and Shotzi decide to go to the ring. Shotzi then goes back for her helmet. Aaliyah locks the door. Aaliyah was one on the other side with the key. Champion contenders match. Raquel Rodriguez defeats Ronda Rousey by DQ in 54 seconds. Heels run in for the disqualification. Rodriguez goes for the powerbomb, but Rousey rolls out through it into an early near fall. Rousey recovers and goes for the arm. Rodriguez fights back with the boot to the face, catches Rousey with a backbreaker. Natalya and Baszler run wild and attack Rodriguez. Natalya then gives Rodriguez chop block and recovers the same way. Ronda Rousey and Raquel Rodriguez defeat Shayna Baszler and Natalya 3:28. Good enough if you actually care about a 3-minute match. Match starts during commercial break, so that proves how much they care about it. Heels are firmly in control. They then isolate Rodriguez over the side of the ring and work over her leg. Rodriguez then fights back and tags in Rousey. Rousey then briefly runs wild. Natalya then catches her in the sharpshooter. Rousey then fights back and tags Rodriguez. Rodriguez hits a corkscrew splash, but Natalya makes the save. Rousey and Baszler face off, but Natalya pulls Rousey out, and Rousey takes out Natalya. Rodriguez then hits powerbomb on Baszler for the win. Cole mentioned the monkey in the bank? No, Money in the Bank takes place from the MGM Grand. In the back, Megan interviews Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. They refuse to reveal their mystery partner. They note it could be anyone. They recap Happy Corbin injuring Madcap Moss. They announce Moss returns next week. Does anyone care? Speaking of Does Anyone Care, Los Lotharios defeat Jinder Mahal and Shanky 216. Shanky appears to be a babyface, however, Mahal is still a heel. They kind of work his faces in the match, but Mahal is still a heel. Fans didn't know how to react, nor do I. I don't think WWE cares about their own storyline, so why should the fans? Before the match, Mahal can't find Shanky and search backstage area for him. Finally found him during Mahal's theme music. Yells at him to get in the ring. At ringside, Los Lotharios are dancing in front of Samantha Irvin. Mahal and Shanky have the early advantage. Shanky then throws Humberto around the ring and nails him with a boot to the face. Los Lotharios take over and isolates Mahal. After the match, Mahal yelled at Shanky and blamed him for the loss. Mahal then walked off. Shanky locked on Irvin and started dancing. In the back, Max Dupree approached Adam Pearce. Pearce looks into the contact and welcomed Dupree. SmackDown, Dupree officially looked for his first client. KO show with Sami Zayn. Good segment. Owens and Zayn are great in their roles, and obviously they have a long history. They announced Owens' guest would be Bloodline member Cole, and Pat McCaffrey wondered which member that would be. Kevin notes that he's looking for truth the last few weeks. He's still trying to prove Elias is Ezekiel. They praised each other. Zayn tells Owens he knows Elias is Ezekiel. Owens is overjoyed and hugs Zayn. They're so happy somebody admitted the truth. Zayn and Owens briefly mentioned their previous problems, but downplayed their issues. Owens then said he's always believed Zayn, even with all the conspiracy stuff. Zayn notes that Owens didn't have to believe him, but Owens ignored him. Owens then wants Zayn to come to Raw with him to call out the entire roster. Zayn turned down the offer because the Bloodline needs him. He's also in the locker room. He has a locker room to run. Zayn called Owens Uso. Owens is confused and that he called him that, and then Zayn and Owens started arguing and insulting each other. Owens became angry and claimed the Bloodline didn't care about Zayn. Zayn's furious and claimed that Elias and Ezekiel were two different people. Owens pointed out that Usos walked out on Zayn on Raw. Owens then introduced the Bloodline to prove they wouldn't come out here, and he said that's proof. Zayn isn't a member of the Bloodline. Zayn had heard enough and walked off. Owens goes after him and begged him to come to Raw. Zayn pushes Owens and walked away. And then there are people that are clearing the KO show segment, and Owens jumps in and gives them stunners. This is a fine segment, but it also proves that WWE is no longer a wrestling company. They're just a vaudeville show. Gunther and Ludwig defeat Ricochet and Drew Gulak. 6:23. Decent enough match. A lot of it happened during the commercial break, though. They recap Ricochet pumping up Gulak to confront Gunther. Kaiser has an early advantage, works over Gulak's arm. Gunther rocks Gulak with a chop and then throws him out of the ring. Back from the break, Kaiser is firmly in control. With a chinlock, Gulak fights back, and then Ricochet gets the hot tag. Ricochet runs wild and hits a springboard crossbody. Kaiser then rolls up Ricochet for near fall. Gunther causes distraction. Ricochet then rocks Kaiser with a knee to the face. Kaiser then throws Ricochet out of the ring. After Gulak tags out, Kaiser then rocks Gulak with a stiff kick for the win. After the match, Gunther and Kaiser attacked Ricochet. Kaiser then rolls Ricochet in with a kick as well. Zayn speaks with the Usos. Zayn then can't help but feel that Owens is right. He thinks the Bloodline doesn't care about him. He asked to be an honorary Uso to make himself feel better. Jimmy agreed, but Jay seemed unsure. The Usos finally decided to let him be an honorary Uso. Zayn is thrilled and called them Uso as they walked away. They showed Memorial Day video package. I hate country-centered video packages and a worldwide company. They announced Riddle and Shinsuke Nakamura versus the Usos in a championship contenders match on Raw. New Day and Drew McIntyre defeat the Brawling Brutes 11:33 in the main event of what feels like a long show. Anyway, so decent match. Fans are into it and pop for McIntyre being the mystery partner. Before the match, Brawling Brutes mocked New Day and they're worried about New Day's mystery partner. Sheamus mentioned that Moby Dick, so he ended up being a lot of jokes about that. New Day interrupts and makes fun of Sheamus. They praise their partner and introduce Drew McIntyre to a big pop. They make more bad comedy. Woods recovers and babyfaces gain control after the heels jumpstart the match. And then Butch tries to interfere, but McIntyre knocks him down. The faces backed Ridge Holland in the corner. Holland then takes over after Butch's interference finally worked for a bit. Back from the break, Holland then hits a power slam on Kofi Kingston. Sheamus follows up with a knee off the top rope. Sheamus then goes Irish Curse backbreaker, but Kingston then countered. Kingston then goes for the tag, but then the heels pulled McIntyre and Woods off the apron. Sheamus then hits the Alabama Slam for near fall. Kingston then fights back and hits the SOS on Sheamus. McIntyre gets the hot tag and runs wild on the heels. Woods then takes out Butch. At ringside, Kingston then follows up with a trust fall dive, wiping out the heels. Back in the ring, Holland then goes for the power slam on McIntyre, but slips out. McIntyre hits a Glasgow kiss, followed up with a Claymore kick. Woods then tags in and hits the elbow off the ropes for the win. After the match, Woods plays trombone. Kingston danced, and then McIntyre joins in on the dancing. They celebrate and they end SmackDown. Overall, SmackDown, most weeks, a skippable show. This week, no different. However, the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn segment is worth going out of your way to see. We'll be back with more right after this.